Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Xiang Jiang, a PhD student from the University of Malaya, and my research is the prevalence of anticholinergic medications used and anticholinergic cognitive burden and force in the Malaysia Orders longitudinal research study. I will present my research with 7 parts as the screen shows. For the first one is the anticholinergic medication. The definition is a group of medications that blockers the action of acetylcholine as synapse in the central and peripheral nervous system. And the common anticholinergic medications like atropine and nifedipine. And the main side effect of anticholinergic medication, including gait and balance disorder, cognitive impairment, mental confusion, urinary irritation, and constipations. In fact, the drug does not specify whether it has anticholinergic effect. As researchers, we classify anticholinergic cognitive burden and anticholinergic medications through anticholinergic cognitive burden score. On the right is the anticholinergic cognitive burden score. Our research objective is to determine the prevalence of anticholinergic use and the relationship between anticholinergic cognitive burden and force over 5 years follow-up in Malaysia Orders longitudinal research. So basically, we're using Malaysia Orders longitudinal research data. Total have 1,705 participants were recorded, which involved community dividing individuals aged 55 and over. Data on ACB medication classification were obtained from 1,600 individuals at baseline, and forced recurrence was determined at baseline 2 years and 5 years follow-up in the preceding 12 months. In the analysis of the prevalence of anticholinergic medication, total have 42% of the population had a history of anticholinergic medication use. It means they have anticholinergic cognitive burden. And 7% were several anticholinergic medication. And we can see here have the higher anticholinergic burden. And what caused the accumulation of anticholinergic cognitive burden? As we see, more than 93% of anticholinergic medication were mild anticholinergic medication, and 7% were several anticholinergic medications. Therefore, the prevalence of mild anticholinergic medication is the main reason for the accumulation of anticholinergic burden. And our study then analyzed the relationship between anticholinergic burden and force. We divide anticholinergic burden into 3 groups. Group 1 is the ACB score equal 0 as a reference for analysis. And group 2 is the ACB score equal 1 to 2. And group 3 is ACB score 3 and above. As a result, we can see I would not highlight ACB equal 1 to 2. It means the group 2, there was a significant difference in force occurrences at baseline compared with the ACB score equal 0. And in high anticholinergic cognitive burden, the occurrences of force were more likely at forced follow-up. So within all study population, the exposure of medication with mild anticholinergic properties was commonly than medications of strong anticholinergic properties. More than 14% of the old adults had experience with anticholinergic medications, including cardiovascular medications and antidepressants. The use of medications with anticholinergic properties is associated cross-sectionally and prospectively with both the occurrences of force as well as force recurrence. Through the relationship was no longer significant at 5 years follow-up. So I have finished my presentation, and here I would like to thank all the innovators, project leaders, and the core investigators, and engineers for study. And I also want to thank Prof. Fu is from the University of Alberta. Is also assistant with the ACP score, and also my supervisor, Professor Demo Bin. All right, thank you for your listening.